Hello, everyone in Tweet Be Happy land. I'm I'm kind of hustling around here tonight, trying to beat the clock. Is there anybody else on this video land that tries to beat the clock? Oh my gosh, I don't know when I'll ever learn that you can't beat the clock. You know, the clock is kind of like the bank. Hi, Peggy. How are you tonight? I've had a really busy day, but it's been a good day. And I knew I had to do, I had my outline, my agenda for today. And I'll be very happy to share with you that I got it all done, Well, I need to do my live, and that was the last thing for my day. So Peggy, share with us what you did today. I hope you were able to get out and enjoy some of that beautiful weather that we've been having. Today wasn't quite as nice as yesterday, but it was still pretty amazing. So, hello, Dolores from South Dakota. I did work outside some today, and we've got a change of weather coming in from the south. We had a strong wind from the north, and when you look to the south, you could really see that it's building up something. So anyway, I'm glad that you guys are all here with me. I think I have some exciting things to show you tonight. Like I said, I've been kind of hustling and bustling and trying to beat the clock, and you sometimes meet yourself coming and going, don't you? So for those of you that don't know who I am, this is Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. And I have been a demonstrator for 8 years now. Last Friday was my 8th year anniversary. So I could write pages and pages of notes on what is so neat about being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've always, fun fact, those of you that didn't know it, I at one time was a licensed cosmetologist. So I went to beauty school right after I got married, and then I did hair for a couple of years. And then because of all the neutralizers and stuff, I had to leave that profession, and I went into, an office administrator's position, and then worked my way up to being a human resources director for a financial planning firm for 47 years. So like the stamp set that I'm going to be demonstrating tonight, which is Boardwalk Fun. It's been a fun ride so far. It's been really great. Hello, Dodie. Thank you for catching me live. Yes, there will be a replay. Go to YouTube. I think that's a great opening for me to say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then that way, if I get, I believe it's 50 subscribers, then I can start doing my videos live on YouTube, and I don't have to worry about doing them on Facebook and then uploading them to YouTube and all of that. I might still have to do that. I don't know. But those of you that are watching the live and those of you that are catching the replay, go to my YouTube channel and please subscribe. You will be notified when a new video is uploaded. And I do a live video every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Central Time. And that is 6 o'clock Pacific Time, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, and 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So every Tuesday I come live to you, and you know, just they're live. Like I said, you take me as I am. So I'm gonna try and see here if my if I can get my Facebook page to come up and make sure that everything is being recorded properly, and it looks like it is. Yay, that's another win. So so just a couple of things. I think I've already introduced myself. Everything is being recorded properly, and it looks like it is. Yay, that's another win. So so just a couple of things. Sorry about that. I thought I had my volume turned down, so so I apologize for that. But like I said, we are going live, and Dodie, yes, sorry you can't stay, but I understand. You can catch me on the replay, and I need to catch your live. I don't think I've caught it this week, so thank you for the reminder. And be safe, Dodie, at whatever you do. I don't know, are you going to onstage, Dodie? I can't remember. Whatever you're doing, have a great time. So, so this is Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. And like I said, I just had my 8th anniversary with Stampin' Up! And make sure that at the end of the live, or when I turn my camera down, I want to show you a beautiful anniversary card that I got from a team member. It is really, really neat. So a couple of things going on right now with Stampin' Up. We just had our March online exclusives launched last week. And what I would encourage you to do is to go to my online store, and when you, over on the left-hand side, you're going to see a menu. Push your menu, do shop products, and go right down to new arrivals. That way you'll catch all of the online exclusives, you'll catch the new kits, and I hope you have some fun watching them. And Susie, oh, how in the heaven's name are you? I hope you're doing good. Thank you for joining. Let's see here. A couple of things that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to turn my camera down right now. So if you get dizzy, close your eyes for just a minute, and I will let you know when you can open them up again. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera so that you can see my work surface. And yeah. There we go. There we go. It's not quite out as far as I'd like, but it's gonna be okay. I will just tilt it a little bit like that. But anyway, a couple of things that we got to turn my light on. Oh, Cindy, Sister Cindy's watching tonight too. Wow, what a glorious night that all of you guys are taking some time out of your day to spend with me. I really appreciate that. So, couple of things that I want to just share with you. The third Wednesday of each month, I am at a venue called Pushing Up Daisies, and we do Stampin' Up there, and it is a kits night. So last month in February, we did the blind date with the kit. So when the gals came that night, they had no idea what kit they were going to do. That's why I called it Blind Date with a Kit. I had them wrapped in pretty little designer series paper, and they picked the kit based on the designer series paper. It was all retired paper. It was very, very pretty. But anyway, it was really fun. One of the icebreakers we played at the game, at the Kids Night, you guys, was if they had ever been on a blind date, tell us how your blind date went. And believe it or not, there was a gal there that had been on 2 blind dates. And the first one didn't work out, you know, like sometimes it happens. But her second blind date was her husband, and they're still married to this day. So isn't that kind of cool? Yeah. So our next one is March 18th, which, believe it or not, is next week already. Another thing, as a thank you, when you order $50 from my store, I will send to you an email of 2 PDFs and a video of cards that the Marvelous Lollies have put together. That is a group of 7 Stampin' Up! Demonstrators from all over the United States. We have joined forces, and 3 of us each month create projects. So I will be sending that to you. So another thing I'd like to tell you about is we no longer have celebration, but we do have product of the month. And if you can if you can see this, it's kind of small, maybe I need to bring it closer. The sweet stamp set you get this month for $5 is Notes of Spring, and it's a little deer and a duck and a rabbit and then a bunch of foliage. Isn't that cute? So so those are just a couple of the specials that I am very anxious to share with you guys. Now let's get on to what you guys came for tonight, which is the stamping. And the, before I go any further, and before I forget, I'm going to show you this anniversary card that I got from a team member. It is absolutely beautiful. Now, this DSP, I'm trying to look for my Take Your Pick tool, which is kind of my pointer. This DSP is last month's, product of the month. Isn't it just beautiful? It's called Painted Illusions, I believe. So, but look at this. Are you ready? Hooray, hooray. And then you open it up and it pops up. Isn't that fascinating? So, Peggy Miller, shout out to you for creating this beautiful card. And can you see the little pop-up features that it has? And then she also carried the side B of the Painted Illusions to the inside. So, yeah, I was with my grandboys when I opened this up, and they thought it was quite neat. Although Jameson, who's going to be 3 in May, he thinks it needs to have a combine and a tractor and a cow. So we'll see. I might have to commission Peggy to help me to do that, but we'll see if we can get that done for little Jameson. But anyway, this is one of the many perks that you get when you belong to this community. People are so thoughtful, and they're always giving you, things when you least expect it. So the stamp set that we're going to be working on tonight is called Boardwalk Fun. And this is, there's nine stamps in this set. And what I have done is I always put, I took Summer Splash and I, stamped all of my stamps. And then I laid this white piece of paper down on top of my stamp. So as I'm putting them away, I can tell if I'm missing a stamp or not. So as you can see right now, tonight, we're not going to be using the happy birthday or one of the palm trees. But I can tell right away what stamp set I'm missing. So this is called Boardwalk Fun. And a little fun fact again that I want to share with you is... oh, Dolores, thank you. I love it that you enjoy watching our grandsons and their ideas. Yes, they're pretty precious. Thank you, Dolores. So the reason I chose this stamp set is because I have a group of fellow demonstrators that are going out to Long Beach, California this weekend, and they are going to be going to a Stampin' Up! Conference out there called On Stage. So I don't know about you guys, but when I think of beaches, I always think of a boardwalk. How about you guys? Do you guys think that way too? So the first card we're going to make tonight is this card right here. There is some really beautiful DSP that comes along with this stamp set, and the Beach Boardwalk 12 by 12 is it's got lots of colors in it. But just to show you a few, this is the paper that we're using tonight, and our DSPs are double-sided. So isn't this fun? If you're like me, a pink and a purple person, that's just fantastic. Here's a little sunshine. Here's a huge watercolor, it looks like. Another little watercolor. Oh, another one. To be real honest with you, I just opened this paper pack today. I haven't even played with it that much, but look at this. This is our next project that we're going to do. I should have pulled this out had I known this, but this you would use this side and this side just as card fronts. But how about that sunset or that sunrise? Isn't that beautiful? So that is the paper that we're going to be using tonight. There is also a sticker pack that comes along with the Beach Boardwalk that can be used on cards, or it can be used on scrapbooking too. So let's go ahead and let's create this card right here. This is the sample that we're going to be working on. Not only am I thinking of my fellow demonstrators that are going out to Long Beach, California right now and watching the boardwalk, but it also makes me think of the Iowa State Fair. How about that, sisters? We love our county fairs and the state fair. So this also was another reason why I chose to get this. I only did get the stamp set. I did not get the dies. And the dies does have the Ferris wheel. And then all of these little tiny seats are die cuts too. So then here's the inside of the card. Just some palm branches. Look at that little triangle. Isn't that pretty? And then I finished it off decorating my envelope then to coordinate with my my card. So let's go ahead. Those of you that are going to be creating with me tonight, we're going to do Casing Tuesday 555. And what you're going to need is, you're going to need a piece of, cardstock, and we are using the Summer Splash tonight. That's one of the colors in this paper. This is a retiring paper. So this is a half a sheet of cardstock, and it is scored at 4 1/4, okay? The next thing you're going to need is a piece of DSP, and this is 3.5 by 4 inches. Okay, on the sample they have I can't think right now if we're going to do some two-tone in the back, but I wanted to add a layer on this to make this really pop. So that is about 1/8 of an inch to 2/8 inch bigger than that other square. Then you're going to need a sentiment that's 3 inches by 1 inch. And then you're going to need a smaller sentiment that is 2.5 inches by 3/4. And when I give those measurements like that, when I say 2.5, I always give the length first, and then the height then would be the 3/8 inch, okay? And then this, of course, is my inside card. So let's go ahead and get started. I think you guys are gonna really like these this stamp set. I'm gonna bring out my piercing mat. The stamps just work much better on a piercing mat, and it's just a piece of sponge like. So let's go ahead and put down our scratch paper. And if you guys have some questions you'd like to ask me, go ahead and ask me. If you know, who's with me on doing boardwalks, who's with me on going to the fairs and riding a Ferris wheel. We are going to do some two-tone stamping. Those of you that have watched me, you know, often know that I love two-tone stamping. And two-tone stamping is when you do the stamp twice. The reason it's called two-tone is because the first time you do it, you just do it, you know, straight on, okay? Then the second time you don't re-ink it, you just go ahead and stamp it again. So it's just kind of like a shadow, okay? So that is what we're going to do for the card base. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could stamp some more down here. We're just going to do them up here to kind of carry the theme through. So let's go ahead and take our adhesive. And I'm not watching the comments tonight, so if I'm missing comments, just, you know, forgive me. It's hard to catch both of them at the same time. Okay, so what I'm going to do then, remember this is just like, about 2/8 of an inch bigger than my DSP is, because I wanted to make it pop. So let's take some dimensionals, and I am using just regular dimensionals tonight, and you cannot use too many dimensionals. Does anyone know why we use dimensionals? If you said to adhere the card to the card base, that is correct. It is also to add 3D to your card. So I am just taking the backings of these little dimensionals off, and I'm not going to take off the center one, and you wouldn't have to do these either, but I did tonight. Okay, so another technique that I do is I always put my card upside down when I go to put this layer on, and the reason is because when you hold it up like this, you can definitely see the sides and the bottom. So I put it a little bit towards the bottom of the card tonight. So what do you think so far? Yeah, so we got balloons, got a little bit of a Ferris wheel in there. The next step then is to take your sentiment, and we are going to do, I have celebrate and hey sunshine. I think what I'm going to do is, let me see if this celebrate is going to fit. Yes, it is. Okay. I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I did the first time. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my hello sunshine up. Well, I'm going to stamp it towards the bottom, because if I remember right, in the Casing Tuesday example, I think they have the bigger word on the bottom and then the little word on the top. So then to bring in the secret C, then we're going to open up that ink pad, and we are going to stamp off a little bit just to make sure that it's inked well, because normally I'd have the ink pad right underneath of my nose, but when I'm doing lives, obviously I can't have it right underneath my nose. So there it is. So it's hey sunshine and then celebrate. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the celebrate on. We're going to have that be flat, and we're going to have that be kind of on the white, but yet a little bit off, okay? So you can either read the I don't know, what do you guys read first? Do you read the hey sunshine first, or do you read celebrate first? I don't know. My eye goes to the head, to the haze sunshine. Is anybody else's eye do that? You would think it would go to the dark first, but it didn't, did it? Okay. So let's go ahead and do you wonder why I always kind of pinch the center of the dimensionals? It just makes it easier to take off. Kind of curls it up, I suppose. So in there again in the sample, it did show the greeting being like almost off the card, but since I have the green here, I'm not sure where I want to put it. I think I'm going to put it about right there. I'm going to put it down a little bit. I want to see most of the Ferris wheel, and I want to see most of the palm tree and stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and do the inside of our card. And all these palm trees. How come Iowa and North Dakota don't have palm trees? Do you guys know? They wouldn't make it here, would they? They're warm climate. So there again, to bring in the Secret Sea, I am gonna just stamp a Secret Sea palm tree too. Isn't that pretty? And then okay, we've got 3 on there, and that's really enough for this. You know, you want to do odd numbers. So let's take our adhesive, and there is our card. I'm going to put it in upside down again. Okay, so this is Summer Splash and Secret Sea. What do you think? Do you like it? Oh, great. I'm glad you do. Who else has this DSP or the stamp set? Also, if you're stamping along with me, be sure and post your picture in the comments afterwards so we can see what your Casing Tuesday 555 looks like. What we do is they give us a recipe, and then we can do whatever stamp set we want or whatever paper we want. Now, there are, I don't know, probably six sheets of paper in this paper pack. And what I would like to do is to make a card like this using every piece of paper. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, let's go ahead and do our envelope. And let's see, I don't think I cut this. So I'm gonna bring out my trimmer. Let you guys see my trimmer. And when I cut these, I try to look at the pictures that are on there. And there's no way I can do a whole Ferris wheel or a whole palm tree, because these are 2.5 inches. That's what the 2.5 inches by 6 is what the measurement for the envelope should be. So then what we do is we will take our green glue, our Tombow, and this is becoming almost a friend of me. At one time I did not like this glue because I got it everywhere, but I have since learned that you just use a small line of the glue, and then take your your thing and just kind of spread it out. So okay, so then here is the 2.5 by 6. What you're going to do is you are going to lay it right up against the envelope seam, and the lighting is kind of tricky here. I've got shadows. So I just lay it like that. And the nice thing about this green glue is it does dry pretty fast. I mean, it's already, you can move it a little bit, but it's pretty secure already. And then all you need to do is take your scissors and trim around the flap of your envelope, and you will have a matching envelope to go with your card. What do you think? So that's our first card tonight. Yes, this is our first card. So very, very fun. So this was the first sample that I did, and I didn't do the embellishments. We will have to add those later, and this is the second card. Okay. Then then I did do another card really fast, and I want to share that with you. It has in the stamp set, it's got a roller coaster. Look at this. Look at this. And it is a big stamp. This is a, what size block is this? Boy, it is really hard to see. This is a size I, and I'm not sure if they make these blocks right now or not. If one of you guys could look that up, that'd be great. And I did do this again in the Summer Splash, and then did some palm trees, and I did use Enjoy the Ride. I love that sentiment. And then inside I used Hey Sunshine. And then on the outside of the envelope, look at this. Does that look like a happy day? Yeah, I think it does. I think we all need to go someplace where there's palm trees and sunshine. What do you think? Although here in Iowa, we can't really complain. The last week or so, the weather has been very, very nice. Okay, so I kind of teased you with the fact that we would be doing some watercoloring tonight. Are you ready for that? Okay, let me bring in what I've done. So, the colors that we are going to be using tonight for our sunsets behind, these are just my samples right here. This is going to be the actual one that we use tonight. And it looks like I need to heat emboss this a little bit. So pardon me for just a little bit. Let me finish. What I've done with this is I have stamped it in Versamark, and then I've done the gold embossing, and then it turns shiny. What do you think? Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun. So, I watched my upline, Dina Rico, this week, watercolor with embossed images, and I really liked how it turned out. I didn't have a whole lot of time to practice the coloring part, but the little bit that I did do, I really enjoyed it. So here are the ink pads. When I think of sunset, I think of Ugly Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, and Misty Moonlight. Okay, now for those of you that are new to watercoloring like I am, I just dabble in it, but it looks so fun. You will need to have fluid 100 watercolor paper, and this is something at one time you could get it from Stampin' Up. I'm not sure if you still can. I will need to check on that. So this is fluid 100 watercolor paper, and it doesn't peel when you use watercolor. It it can take the water, where if you use regular paper, it cannot. It just kind of gets saturated and starts to be messy. Okay, so what I thought we would do tonight is, when you watercolor, you do need to do it in stages. Just a minute, I got to get a drink of water here. I've got a straw here. I don't know what's wrong with it. But it doesn't, I don't know if it's collapsed in the middle or what. I'm not really sure. Okay, you're going to need to have a cup of water to, you know, to wet your paper down. So I am going to go ahead and start. Can you see what I'm doing? So I'm going to go ahead and just get this all wet here, because you need to have water on the paper to make the color. And then you're going to dip into the blue, and then look at how it just, isn't that neat, you guys? It's just kind of like art in front of your eyes, isn't it? So you kind of, each time you watercolor, obviously, it turns out differently. And you can have it be as dark or as light as you would like. And, you know, I've watched a lot of sunsets, and, you know, but I gotta practice to do a better one. Okay. So in this sunset, you've got the Darling Duckling, the Timid Tiger, and the Misty Moonlight. Now, let me see here. I did do this earlier, but if you noticed, I didn't get my paper wet before I did the blue, and you really need to do that. And you got to make sure that the colors that you've used previously have dried, or else, you know, you'll make new colors. And sometimes you want to make new colors. So this is, and if you get too much water on there, I've got a man's handkerchief here that you just kind of dab it to get the water off, because I will admit I had a little bit too much water in there. So, and what I did, and I did not show you guys this. Ooh, this looks like a cloudy blue, doesn't it? And if it's too dark, you can dilute it down and make it lighter. Did you guys know that? Yep. And then obviously you got to let it dry again. How fun, huh? Okay, so that's another sunset. And they're very abstract. I apologize. I'm like I said, I'm just beginning to play with this, and let's see how we can get some orange in on this one. Okay, so we'll need to get the paper wet, and the Dodie that just left here, she does a lot of watercoloring, and you know, she might be able to give me some tips, but actually, I don't know if there's any wrong or right way to do this, but it's kind of messy, but oh, how fun. Very fun. Okay. So that is another one. Okay. The one that, remember, I promised you that we were going to do for the Real McCoy tonight is I've already embossed it right here. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I think I'm going to do most of this sky in blue, because it is a beautiful day either in California or at the Iowa State Fair. So we will make sure we got plenty of water on there, and then you can also add water to your blue here to dilute it. And so isn't that neat how it just kind of spreads, doesn't it? So that looks like a much prettier sky, doesn't it? So what we would need to do then is let this dry, and then we could go in and put the reds and the oranges in there. And well, I guess I can still do it a little bit because they're not going to run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put water on the actual little roller coaster, And then I do have a smaller brush. I think I used that earlier tonight. I don't know why I didn't use it here. But you know how you may have, you know, the sun is over in this part of the sky, and maybe over in this part, who knows what creates the orange in a sunrise, but maybe over in this part of the sky, it is orange. And remember, I have heat embossed that image onto the Fluid 100 paper. You must use the Fluid 100 paper. You don't want to use regular white paper. And in a little bit, when this dries, like it's probably been sitting for, I don't know, half an hour, maybe 15 minutes. But isn't that, what do you guys think of that? Do you guys like that? Oh, I love it. I love it. So what we're going to do then is we're going to let our two roller coasters dry. I'm going to put them behind me here. And I don't know if one of these are dry yet or not, but let's go ahead. And I did not tell you this, but I did put, when you get the ink pads, you should buy refills. And then I just put a couple of drops in each lid then. And that's what I messed with. And you don't have to worry about it. It looks messy, but it's okay. It's not going to be. This one's kind of runny though, isn't it? So let's dab. There again, I'm not a pro at this, so I don't want this to leak all over. So I am going to just kind of remove some of this water. I could have taken my men's handkerchief too to do that, and but I don't know. I decided to try this instead, okay? So let's go ahead and close up these ink pads. And what we're going to do really fast, because I know I'm going over it's been like 45 minutes. What we're going to do then is, I believe, let's go ahead and help this dry. I could actually... I'm going to take my heat embossing gun and dry this just a little bit more. It does want to curl up a little bit, so you'll want to make sure and put a lot of adhesive on the back of it. So there is our sunset, and I don't know if I'll need that paper again or not. But what we're going to do is we are going to, for kicks and giggles, we are going to go ahead and I am going to grab my black Memento, because I don't know what color is a what is this that we're typing? Oh goodness. Roller coaster. Yep. So let's go ahead and ink this up. And then we can stamp this onto our card right like this, okay? So there, what do you think? I don't know if I'm real happy about the, the definite. It should be probably more rounded, or not so definite. So, but you know what? That's okay. So I am going to go, the sentiment that we're going to use is enjoy the ride. And I see my hey sunshine, I see my heart. I don't see, oh, here it is. Here's enjoy the ride. And I am going to go ahead and stamp that in the Memento Black, and I'm going to put that like right there on that card. What do you think? Enjoy the ride. Isn't that neat? And I don't know, kind of like this little heart here, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and stamp off with that little heart. That might get to be my little signature. And then, of course, you could put, now this isn't the same size as the casing 555 is, but let's go ahead and I'm creating this card on the fly, but I love doing it this way. So get your trimmer out, and before you cut the cardstock, go ahead and score it at 4 1/4, and then turn it and cut it at 5 1/2, and you have 2 card bases, okay? So then what we're going to do is you are going to crease this, take your bone folder, and score it really well so that your card lays flat, and then you can put this on there, something like that. Now I think I may want to maybe put another card behind there. I don't know if I would like let's try the timid tiger, okay? Now remember, it's about 2 1/8 to 2/8 inch bigger. So I'm going to put this Memento Black away. Okay, so then so this little paper thing here is about 5 by 3. Okay, so we're gonna do, we'll do about 3 2/8, about right there. And then I said it was 5, so then we'll do like 5 1/8, about right there. Okay, let's see how this looks. This is going to be a summery card. So then we would put this on this, and then we would put it on this card like this. What do you think? Isn't that beautiful? So let's go ahead and finish it. We're having so much fun. I'm having fun. Hopefully you guys are too. Now remember, we used watercolor paper, so you're going to want it not to bow. So you're going to want to put on a healthy amount of adhesive. Okay. Now, I don't know, it's just, the background is just a little plain. We could, what we're going to do is we are just going to celebrate. We're gonna punch in or stamp in celebrate on right on the card stack or the card base. Celebrate. Hold it there for just a little bit so that the ink is absorbed, and then we will. I hope I've encouraged you to try watercoloring. If it's something that you haven't done before, especially, just like anything else, the only way you get better at it is to practice, practice, practice. So we are going to put, raise this up on the dimensionals. And I'm going to press the center just so it's a little bit easier to take off the backings. I hope you guys have enjoyed this live tonight. I like doing new things, so doing the watercoloring after I've done the embossing was quite fun. And like I said, we didn't get to finish the card, but I will show you what those cards are like. So I'm going to put this a little bit higher up here, and when you do a celebrate card, it could be for any occasion, couldn't it? I right away think of, I have a sister that's retiring pretty soon in May. This would be a perfect card for her because, she's going to celebrate her next chapter of her life. So I am going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. I'll bring the camera back up to me here. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask me, please do. I want you to know that I've really enjoyed this watercoloring tonight. I'd be really anxious to see if you guys try it. I'd be anxious to see what suggestions you have, things you do differently. But the most important part of when I do these lives, it is to encourage not only you, but also myself to try new things. And that's definitely what we did tonight with this watercolor. And even every time you use a new stamp or you use, a new set of DSP, you never know what it's going to turn out like until you just get in and you just do it. So this is Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. I come live to you every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Central Time. And if you're in the Pacific, it's 6 o'clock. If you're in the Mountain, it's 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And if you could like my video, if you could share my video, and then if you could go to YouTube and subscribe, that would be great. That helps my small business get advertised to your friends and families and neighbors. So for right now, God bless. Thank you.